Hello guys and welcome here to our final fantasy football draft here on SCN. My goodness, I'm still making that mistake. Anyway, here we go. We got about 26 minutes. I'm the only one in the server right now. No, Marty's here too. So there's two of us that are currently logged in here. And of course this is a 12-person draft. We decided the draft picks not by the snake and the random snake at that. The way we decided the draft picks was based on last week's PGA tournament. And apparently my guy won because I wrote in that I wanted the 6th pick if my golfer finished the highest of all of them. So guess I get lucky here. I love picking in the middle here. It allows me to balance out my picks. It leaves me with the same amount of time between each pick. So this is very exciting. I'm happy. I love it whenever I can pick right in the middle. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss out on McCaffrey, but hey, I can get a great running back or I can get a great wide receiver. This league's a little bit different. There are 4 wide receiver positions, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Then we got running back, wide receiver, and tight end position. So this is huge right here, that the receivers are going to go off the board quick. I need to get a receiver right away. But obviously if a good running back is left, I'm left with no choice. My hands are tied at that point. I have to go running back. Let's see what happens. We got the same book as last time, or the last 2 drafts, the CBS Sports one. I'll be using that for my notes. And real quickly, before we get going, why don't I take a look at what exactly they want me to pick with the number 6 pick in the draft. So let's see this. Mine says Michael Thomas. And I actually like that one, so I'm hoping he's available. I don't think he's going to be, though, so we shall see what happens there. Alright, Madden's almost installed. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of things here at once. Let's check out the chat. See, just Jason. So, real quick before we get started, welcome to our... Well, I think I'm one of the viewers, actually, but welcome to our 3 viewers here on SCN. Real quickly, though, I'd like to discuss the NASCAR race and the IndyCar Series playoffs. So if you're not here for that, or you're just waiting for the draft, come back in about 22 minutes here. Anyway, so here we go. Sorry, I'm echoing a little bit, or at least I hear my phone going. But anyway, sucks to be Jimmy Johnson, doesn't it? That one hurt to watch. It hurt to watch. Jimmy deserved a lot better than missing the playoffs, but when you miss out on one race, you get disqualified from another, to be 6 points back, it's just rough. Ultimately, it's very rough. Yeah, so you gotta feel for Jimmy Johnson there. Obviously, if he could make up one of those races, maybe the one he got DQ'd for, probably wouldn't be in this situation. He made a bunch of bold moves too throughout the race, but I don't think his bold moves really accounted for his, or I don't think you can blame his wreck on that. He just got caught up in something that he shouldn't have, and it's an unfortunate circumstance for him, and that's tough. I will tell you though, I am a Chase Elliott fan, but man, am I happy for Matt DiBenedetto. This man raced for his career, I believe, on Saturday, and I think a lot of top teams that are looking for drivers, especially that 48 team who will be switching drivers next year, they may not want to sleep on Matt DiBenedetto yet in that 21. So I don't know. If I was them, I wouldn't sleep on him, especially Chip Ganassi Racing and the Wood Brothers. But I think Team Penske has more to say in what happens with that Wood Brothers ride than the Wood Brothers do, especially if there's a tech alliance involved. So we'll see. I'm more hinting that Austin Cindric could end up in that car next year regardless of what Matt DiBenedetto does. So that will be interesting to watch. I don't foresee him going far. I could see him passing the first round because he's just so good at Bristol. But we'll see what happens. Alright, we got 20 minutes here, and now I'll talk real quickly on the IndyCar race. Well, actually, real quick as well, before I actually switch gears to IndyCar, my friend had hinted to me about a leaked playoff bracket from NBC Sports. So, according to this leak, alleged leak, it has William Byron, Cole Custer, Clint Bowyer, Matt DiBenedetto all eliminated round 1. Round 2 eliminations include Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Busch. Round 3 has Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch eliminated. I'm shocked it has Kurt Busch going that far. He's been consistent. He's been pretty consistent, so I would have put him out at the round of 12. But this alleged leaked bracket has him out in the round of 8. That's shocking. So then the championship for it has Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and Martin Truex Jr., with Kevin Harvick winning it. Is that a leak, or is that like... I don't know. I don't know if you can qualify it as a leak. I guess I'm just going to keep that bracket really close and see if that ends up being the truth, but I don't know. It seemed, if NBC Sports released it, it very well could have been a prediction bracket. The thing is, I don't want to jump ship and say, hey, this is a leak, because it may not be true. So we'll see how true that bracket is in the coming 10 weeks here. Of course, we have to look forward now to Darlington, the track too tough to tame. That'll be a fun race to watch. Now I'll focus a little bit on IndyCar. And if you remember last Sunday when we did our first fantasy football draft stream, you may remember I said that it was disappointing to watch the Indy 500 end under caution. I stand by that, but of course there really wasn't much that could have been done. As I look out my window right now, it's a lot darker than last Sunday. And you know that Indy doesn't have any lights at the Brickyard. So, really not much you could have done last week. That I lean toward a judgment call. I mean, between a judgment call and things in your control, it's kind of balanced. It's a 50-50 call. There's really not much could have been done, and you can't exactly half-ass the repair, because if you half-ass the repair of the pit road wall, you're just creating more problems. So IndyCar might or might not have gotten last week right. Now, fast forward to Saturday. Saturday's race was pretty good. Scott Dixon, of course, continuing his tear. I insist that Gateway is probably the second best oval to Indianapolis. But like I said, race 1 was very good. I would have been happy to be in the stands for that one. The truck race was pretty good. I'm shocked there weren't any fistfights on the pit lane, the NASCAR truck race. Then, of course, immediately following that truck race, the IndyCar race got started. And of course, if you watched it, the first 2 or 3 laps were under caution, so it was a green and yellow situation, which, first off, no, that wasn't right. Then, on top of it, so they already lost 2 laps at the start of the race because of a official's vehicle leaking or something. I don't know, I was vaguely watching it at the beginning, but then later on, so the racing gets good. This package, it's just really tough to stay close, to pass once we get into long green flag runs. We got about halfway through that green, we got to about 3 to go. Fast forward to that. Takuma Sato hits the wall. Now, a few laps before that, Colton Herta gets shoved up the track. This is about 15, 20 to go, I want to say. I can't quite remember. But he gets shoved up into the wall, just about, by Rinus VK. A lot of people angry at VK lately and how he's been driving, but, a lot of the moves he makes are in over his head, for sure. He's trying to be like Santino Ferrucci and Alexander Rossi, and I just don't think he gets the whole surroundings of his car yet, and that's something he's got to learn as a rookie. Maybe he needs to tone it down a little bit until he gets kind of a feel for the surroundings around him. But yeah, so thought that would bring out a caution. It didn't, and that was shocking. Fast forward to 3 laps to go now. Ultimately, we saw Takuma Sato get shoved up into the wall. I believe he popped the tire or something, but he's up in the wall. From our vantage point, from the vantage point I had watching the race on TV, I didn't see any debris. The race, now look at Gateway, the races the last few years have been held under the lights. Could you have red flagged it for like 5 minutes to look over the turn, be sure there's no debris? Yeah. So, I will tell you, this, to me, if I was in attendance at that race, to me that's a middle finger right there to all the fans who showed up, because a lot of them went to the truck race, stayed for the IndyCar race. So they got a full day of racing in, but stay the whole day and have the race end under caution when it could have been red flagged, to me that's a middle finger. And it was a good racing day. It wasn't as good as yesterday, but it's just upsetting. I would be furious if I was in those stands and watched a race end under caution. Do I think they need to add overtime? That's been floating on Twitter. That's been floating on Facebook. People thinking that races should add overtime to IndyCar. I don't think that's the solution. I think what IndyCar does with the red flag, what they've done in the past by throwing the red flag, doing a quick caution, and getting the tires reheated, get back to the restart. Even a 1-lap shootout could have been likely. I just think that this one was far more avoidable from ending under caution than last week, and that's what's very upsetting. And I'm hoping that Penske Corp is watching this race, watching fan reactions, and considering their next steps very wisely, because I'm not mad Newgarden won. I'm not mad about that. I like Newgarden. I think he's a very talented driver, and there's no denying it. He's probably the most talented driver outside of Scott Dixon in the field right now. But you got to feel for Pato. Pato hung in there the entire time, and to get kind of shafted at the end by that, that's upsetting. I'd be very upset if I was Pato O'Ward at the end of that. But yeah, so basically last week I was upset. I understood why it ended that way, looking back at it. This week, I just don't feel there was an exception to that. I just don't feel like there's any excuse on why that race couldn't finish under green. That's just very disheartening, very upsetting. And again, this has been a tough year. As you know, COVID's been going around. Many people in the U.S. rather have had COVID or have been impacted by COVID in some way. Sporting events have been canceled. Many of them still not holding fans. So racing, some tracks are holding fans still at either 20, 25%, 50% capacity, whatever it may be. There are fans that are in the stands on race day, but it's socially distanced. But what we've gone through in the past 6-7 months with this whole COVID thing, this has been a bad year. The fact that we have fans in the stands is remarkable on how far we've come in this battle against COVID. And to come back to the track, months after we were shut down for COVID, and to see a race end under caution, it's just, to me, that's an FU. Straight to your face. That's just a straight to the face, middle finger. It's just very disrespectful to me. So, that's where I stand on it. I just think it was incredibly disrespectful. And I'm hoping that, again, Penske Corp will see this and definitely look into maybe what they could have done better. Like I said, I don't think overtime is a solution. I don't think adding laps at the end is a solution to the problem. But I think, possibly in the future, considering the red flag an event should be in the cards, even if it's a one-lap shootout. Now, if it's 2 laps to go and a caution comes out, quickly evaluate the track, get the safety cars off, and see what you can do. If you can't finish it under green, and if you are left with no choice but to throw the caution with 2 laps to go, it's completely understandable. Within the final 2 laps, coming to the white flag, that's understandable. There's nothing you can really do there. But yeah, so that's where I stand on it. We're about 8 minutes away from the draft. Let me just check my messages real quick. Alright. Yeah, so if you guys have any thoughts on that, please drop them in the comments. If you have any thoughts on that. What I thought was a disastrous IndyCar finish. Any thoughts on the NASCAR playoffs? Feel free to drop them. I'll try to read through it before we get going here in the next 7.5 minutes. Doesn't look like I'm going to have an Xbox Live party or a FaceTime to worry about this draft because my friends are at a concert and well, a few of them are at a concert, some of them are not online. So it sounds like we'll be good for tonight to solely focus on this draft and what's to come, and me focusing on the stream, which is even bigger. Because when I stream lately, I don't really focus on that. I'm more focused on the game and my Xbox Live parties or PS4 parties, and it's a mess. a lot of trash talking going on. Maybe I should leave the chat up before the draft starts. Obviously, we're going to leave the roster up. But take a look at that. Just flat out trash talking. I'm going to stay out of this. Oh, Ben, man. That's just funny. Mitchell Collins over on the Discord there, man. He's like, COVID ballers. Yeah. Yeah, man. We got the COVID ballers today. I have the same team name as in the Insanity League that we drafted last Sunday. Same exact team name, Herbie Fully Loaded. I hope you haven't seen the movie. That was a terrible movie. Sorry to all you Lindsay Lohan fans. That was a crappy movie. That's about the nicest way I can put it. But no, this is a reference to, obviously for those who know me, I am a LA Chargers fan. I love the pick for Justin Herbert. I think that was the best pick the Chargers could have made at number 6. Especially seeing that we needed a quarterback. So that made me incredibly happy. That's like 2 thumbs up. So that's the inspiration behind this name. Here we go. The 5-minute countdown begins. Egging him on right now. So I'm drafting cap number 6. No. I love all this trash talking, man. That's why I'm egging them on with my picks. Everybody's here tonight. Everybody. I love it. Well, minus Derek. I don't know where Derek is. Don't know who Derek is. A lot of these guys, my one friend invited. He's so technically I'm the creator of the league. I kind of handed over commissioner duties to someone else. I'm still listed as the commissioner, but again, I handed it off to someone else. Looks like half the league is in the side bet. So we didn't do a buy-in with this league. The other 2 leagues were free. We did a optional buy-in. Basically, it's a side bet, is what he's calling it. So, yeah, he's saying he can collect cash from me. I'm good. So, I'm gonna stay out of the money game this year, just because I'm still fearful of the COVID thing. I'm also, in case you haven't realized, I've got a grade 3 ankle sprain right now on my right foot, so I'm still in the boot. So, not working, but we will see what happens in the coming weeks. I got hopefully some good news coming next Monday, or next Tuesday rather, with regards to this. Anyway, here we go. The final minute before our draft begins, and I am ready with my picks. These guys are pretty good. This may be my worst league. I think it will be. We shall see. Anyway, here we go. So, I'm not going to focus too much on the chat now. I'm going to focus more on the roster aspect of everything. I'll flip over. And McCaffrey went first, no surprise there. So, oh man, Michael Thomas already off the board. So was Zeke. We really only have running backs that we can go for here. We could pick a wide out. The only ones available are Hopkins, Hill, Jones, and Adams. I don't feel safe drafting any of those guys yet, so why don't I go with Cook? Since if Cook can stay healthy, I got a solid running back. Probably not my best pick, but I had no choice there. So while we're doing that, I'll actually just keep this up, just so everyone can see who everyone is. So you guys can see who everybody is picking. So we got McCaffrey, Barkley, Thomas, Kamara, Elliott, Delvin Cook, Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, all off the boards. My brother's up. He just picked Devontae Adams, a wide receiver. Now it's Andrew up next. He's on the clock. And threat level midnight. I love the name. I just finished up. One thing that's great about being out on injury is being able to watch as much Netflix as I can, and I've been watching a lot of The Office. Believe it or not, Nick Chubb off the boards. Of course, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was off the board before that. So now my attention shifts to the biggest position up for grabs here in this draft, and that is the wide receiver position, the very coveted position in this draft. And we will see what we can get. I'm not too confident that Hopkins will fall my way. We'll see. Everybody's now in this draft, so it is not a computer draft, and Hopkins did not fall to me as I expected. Lamar Jackson off the board. the first quarterback off the board in this draft. And it is now Jason's turn. I knew Tyreek Hill wouldn't fall to me, so it's alright. It's alright. I got Hopkins in one league. I think that's a good thing. Mike Turborg, man. What a guy. He's MJ Turbo there says he's going to beat Andrew and Ben. That's going to be fun to watch throughout the season. I don't think Julio Jones is going to fall my way either. I don't know about Moore. He does have Teddy Bridgewater. That's always good. I think Bridgewater's going to be good, so we'll see. If not, I could get Godwin or Evans. Those two bound to be pretty decent. Boy, a lot of trash talking going on. Sorry, I'm having fun with this. Maybe more fun just watching the chat than actually being in a video chat. Not gonna lie. And Miles Sanders off the boards. Now it's my brother's turn. Eckler's off. Mahomes is gone. I'm shocked a quarterback's going this early, but hey, it's whatever's up to them.
Your team is now on the clock.
Can I trust Kittle will fall back? I think so. And I'm shocked Julio Jones fell my way, so of course you know I'm going to go Julio Jones. So now let's see if Kittle falls to my grasp. Because I think there's some good receivers as we go through the draft, so I'm not too worried. Juju off the board. Oh, Kittle didn't fall to me. Mixon off the board. So maybe Zach Ertz. Or do I go quarterback and try to get this guy, or this guy, or this guy? I'm watching him later. Who did Mike pick? Come on. Derrick Henry and Patrick Mahomes. Oh. Are you sure about that? uh, man, Chris Carson's off the boards. I'm not worried about that. He really wasn't on my radar to begin with. Man, I just really hope that one of these three fall my way. But at the same time, well, no, because if I wait another round, that's the problem. You can't tell with these. But I need one of those three to fall my way. That's all I need. Who went just recently? It was Mike Evans that just went.
Your team is
Now
on
Kenny
the clock.
Galladay. Yeah, let's take a chance. I'll take a chance and go quarterback. Again, I think this receiver class is pretty good, so I think I can take a chance and wait an extra round. Um, I figured he'd go sooner or later. I think this is the first draft. I don't know if I've said this yet, but I think this is the first draft where everybody is in the draft lobby. So I gotta say this is gonna be fun because this is a real test of my drafting skills now, more than when the computer drafts for people. So maybe I should have done some mock drafts. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I should have done a mock draft or two before I went into this. But the problem is those mock drafts never fill up. So that wouldn't really be a good test. This is sort of a chess match, I guess is the way to put it. I mean, I just don't know how else I can put it. I knew he'd take Cooper Cup. He loves Cooper Cup for some reason. So let's keep an eye on the queue right here. See, Fournette goes off as expected. Can my tight end fall to me? That's going to be the question. Or will I have to look at another option? Problem is, unlike these guys who are taking their time making their pick, I want to kind of have my pick lined up already. I want to know who I got. I'm ready to make that pick whenever it comes to me. So that's what I'm trying to ensure right now. Ridley's off the boards. I think he's going to be good. When he's healthy, he's pretty decent. And if anyone's going to steal who I want, it'll be my brother. Or it'll be Marty. I have not played with Mike, so I can't really speak on him. But it'll be fun when basketball starts to hear what he has to say about this, because I know he'll have a few words for me there. Oh, man. Diggs is off the boards. I expected that. Who's Marty gonna take?
Your team is now on the
He
clock.
took Lockett. I'm going Jones or Ertz before the next tight end gets picked there. So now here's where I gotta go with my second back. One way or another, I gotta go a running back here. Dak is off the board. I don't like that. You know I gotta trash talk him. Oh, man. Alright. What are we looking at here? I don't need to respond to that. I don't need to respond to haters. Alright. DJ Chark. I could probably wait one more round on my wide receiver. I hope. My brother always goes for that receiver, so I know it's going to be a brawl for him. But I need a running back. That's number one, first and foremost. Like I said, I'm not worried about receiver. There's a lot of options I have for wide receiver, but I need to balance this out somehow, some way, because again, this is everyone's drafting. This is an all-out war here for the best. And like I said, this is a real test of my skills right now, and everybody's skills, because we're drafting live, and of course, everybody's here, and, like I said, this isn't against the computer who's going to pick the best available. I've said that a few times already. Anyway, there's a look at the rest of the board. You see Dak went off DJ Chark. Odell Beckham, A.J. Brown, I believe his name is, from Tennessee. Like I said, hoping my running back drops to me. We'll see. If I'm not mistaken, Mostert was big in the receiving game last year, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 14 receptions. So yeah, he's big in the receiving game somewhat. He, of course, was their top running back last year. So it would be a waste if I didn't pick him. Schrute Farms, I love it.
On the clock.
Alright, so here we go. We're going to go Mostert with this pick. We were left with little option there. And I think, fingers crossed, this wide receiver that I want should make it to the next round. And that would be great because I already have Deshaun Watson. If I add Will Fuller to that, that's his top receiver. That would be huge for me. Not only with PPR, but it would be huge in that I have a quarterback in his top target, which would be fantastic. But again, I have a feeling someone's going to pull a trick and take him out from under me. And here we go. We're expecting a very slow decision process here. Oh man, I'm getting a little less confident, but I needed a running back. I had no choice there. I had to go running back. And looking on down, maybe a steal. Singletary's out. I expected that. The fact that I got Mostert was pretty good. Carson Wentz off the board. That's a good pick for Jason. I'm happy for him getting his QB there. Just hoping again, fingers crossed, I really am hoping this receiver drops to my level. And looking ahead, we got 17 rounds tonight, by the way. That's different from the last few nights. Yeah, because the last few nights we had 15 rounds. Of course, we flew through those drafts because the last one was all auto draft for the most part. And in case you were wondering, no, I didn't select my league to renew for next year. That oh goody one from the other night. It just made no sense. Why would I renew a league when no one else drafted? So. He is awful confident, man. So what's great is a few of these guys I know through coaching basketball over the year, playing basketball over the years. Oh boy, if anyone's gonna take this wide receiver, it's gonna be my brother. I'm just ready for it. Either he's gonna take Fuller or he's gonna take Devontae Parker. That I promise you. And if he takes anybody else, I would be very shocked. You could tell I'm getting very nervous. Kareem Hunt. Now that was a shocker. Who just went?
Your team is
Matt Ryan went and Jones went. So that clears the way, and they just made a mistake. You don't let me get Will Fuller. That's the one thing. You don't leave me with that option. Devontae Parker is off the boards. Can Landry make it to the... I don't think Landry's going to make it to my pick. So I got to look more realistically here. Possibly Marvin Jones. That would be a good pickup for me. CeeDee Lamb could be a spoiler. Rieger, again, he was a first round pick. He should be very good. Henry Ruggs, he was a first rounder. Gotta keep an eye on him. And the quarterbacks are going, by the way. Do I pick a backup soon? If I don't get a backup this round, I have to get one next round. And it can't be someone on by week number 8. So basically my options are anyone but Big Ben, pretty much. And if you're just tuning in, this may be the best draft we've had yet. I'm being dead honest with you. Oh man, I got running backs on by week 11. Might not be the best choice, but AP's always good. And he will definitely go in this draft at some point. Damian Williams is out. Justin Jackson's going to be big this year. Might as well put Brandon Cooks on that list, but again, right now I'm watching the bye weeks, and you don't want to have all your receivers on the same bye. So, as I'm looking at it, CeeDee Lamb, Marvin Jones may be my best options. But again, I also got to be looking at a backup quarterback. And I'm going to flag Drew Brees there. I'm going to flag... Yep, Josh Allen's gone, so I don't think Brees is going to make it to my selection in the next round. So Stafford's going to be my other option. Let's look at the big board once again. As you see, since I last picked, we have Devontae Parker off the board. We have Aaron Rodgers, Julian Edelman, Swift, Akers, Gallup, Josh Allen, and Landry off the boards. And MJ Turbo is on the boards. And the tight ends are at the top of the list once again. Should also be looking at my kicker soon. But again, I can wait on a kicker a little bit. Right now, I want to build some depth. I can look at Emmanuel Sanders too. Mike Williams. We're going to drop that far in receivers. Ayuk is...
Your team is now on the clock.
Oh boy, don't tell me I just picked... Okay. I've done that before, and I got Tom Brady last year out of it. So let me take a look at my QU. Here is where the pick gets big. Even Boyd would be a good option. Maybe I should lean toward Boyd. Let's pick him. Boy, a lot of trash talk out of Marty there toward me. Let's see his roster real quick. So right now he's got Matt Ryan. Okay, not the best quarterback option. Kenyon Drake. James White, not good. Bad option out of New England. Thalen's good. Lockett's good. We don't know what to expect out of Keenan Allen. Travis Kelce. Shoot, did I just think that was my team? Oh my goodness. Again, my biggest decision to make is, do I wait another round on a quarterback, or do I just keep doing what I'm doing? Brandon Cooks is off the board. I'm fine with that. Engram's off. I'm okay with that. That, of course, leaves very few tight end options. I don't know if Hunter Henry is a good option, because look who's throwing to him. We still don't know who's throwing to him. So, AJ Green off the board. He could have a comeback season. If CD goes off the board, if Lamb goes off the board, I may wait on a wide receiver and just go for my next running back. Is that a possibility? Do I go for my next quarterback? Looks like everybody's about the same boat. Mr. McBean doesn't have a quarterback. Entertainment 720 doesn't have another receiver or a tight end yet. Austin's on the same page as me. Shroot Farms pretty balanced. Sterling Shepard's off the board. Again, I thought that was my team. I don't know why I'd think a team named Brian is Trash is my team. That's a pretty awful thing to think. Again, it would work out perfectly if I could get CD Lamb, but the big question will be, will he fall to my pick? Because if he does, he's going to be my next pick. But the other thing is, if I take Breeze or Stafford, possibly Brady, I take an option away from these guys at quarterback who are stalling and waiting. You saw that one guy hasn't picked a quarterback yet, and a lot of quarterbacks are off the board. A lot of the good ones are off the board. So I force them to wait a little longer. Let me take a look at his card and see what's expected of him. Thing is, CeeDee Lamb, he is out of Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's good at bringing in receivers to the league. Same with Alabama, those two schools known for their receiving cores. So if he could just drop to me, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, we may be waiting for another round for a receiver. See, is Gronk still out there? Nah, Gronk's gone. So someone took a chance on Gronk already. Let's see how the board looks. Yeah, Gronk went to Mike. And of course you see James White, Rob Gronkowski, Marvin Jones, Brandon Cooks, Evan Engram, AJ Green, Sterling Shepard, Philip Lindsay all off the board, since our last pick. This is going to be a long draft. We're already an hour into our video. Of course, we are not an hour into the draft. We're only a half hour in. We're not even halfway through yet. Actually, I think we're just closing in on the halfway mark. You see Crowder goes. They're all sleeping on this guy right now, but it's not going to last. Kerryon Johnson. Does CeeDee Lamb last? No! Hunter Henry is gone. We don't have a tight end option yet. What about wide receivers? I think I can wait one more round. Let's get our backup. I can wait one more round on receivers. I think there's still a lot of good receivers still out there. Oh, Sanders is gone. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be good. I don't know if Sammy Watkins opted out. Who was the last one off the board? It was Johnson from Pittsburgh. Jared Cook went off the boards. That was the tight end I was looking at. May have to look at this guy, Gesicki. Goddard's good in the red zone, so maybe look at him. He's a favorite target of our friend Carson Wentz there, but oh wait, I already got Zach Ertz, so I gotta remove Goddard from that list. If I'm gonna pick a tight end, it has to be someone that doesn't have a week 9 bye. Hurst, I believe, is gonna be the number 1 guy. Hayden Hurst. Montgomery is off the board. We could even go with Zach Moss and shock everybody, or go Matt Breida, who is a good PPR wide receiver. But again, it's in an offense where Ryan Fitzpatrick is the quarterback, and we don't know when exactly they plan to turn the reins over to Tua Tagovailoa. Again, I might be mispronouncing his name. Well, now the chat's acting up a little bit. Tevin Coleman is also very good in the receiving game, so he's another option for us. We already got 2 quarterbacks. We're good on quarterbacks. I made a bold jump for Breeze, which is probably ill-advised at best. Christian Kirk is off the board, and I'm picking the Bills' defense if I can. Even the Niners, that might be a huge step for us. But I'm going to wait at least one more round to do that. Again, we still haven't filled our wide receiver positions, and we surely haven't filled our running back thing yet. And if we don't get a running back soon, we are not going to have one. A lot of trash talk, man. But anyway, we are still waiting. Again, this is like a chess match for some of these guys. Some of these guys are playing for money, others are not. So hence the reason some of these picks are taking a little longer. My option would have been lower it to a minute and a half, but again, I kind of turned over the commissioner reins to someone else in this league, as I'm already managing 2 leagues myself. I felt like it was the best option. So we're going to keep an eye on our wide receiver picks as well. 'Cause maybe I can make it another round. But let me look on down the list and see. 'Cause thing is, man, one of our running back picks just went. Alshon was hurt all last year, so maybe he has a comeback year. This would be good for kick returns, but I don't think anything more than that. He might be okay. Big Ben is gone. Higbee is gone. Let's take a look at running backs. Let's go with Breida. I'm taking a bold leap here. I think we can last another round, and they're into the kickers now. As long as my defense sticks around. I think I'm going to wait a bit on receivers. I think we're good. Oh, I love it. Man, we lost our viewers too. Man, y'all stink. Just kidding. Love all of you. A lot of trash talk, man. Let's just hope our... Oh, man, our defense got picked. And chances are this one will be gone next. Let's take a look at the big board once again. You see Samuel, Sanders, Cook, Johnson, Montgomery all off the board to end round 8. Then Kirk, Moss, Brady, Roethlisberger, Higbee, Breida, Butker, Johnson, and then the 49ers D all off the board. And here's where it's decision time for some of these guys. Again, I think I'm good on running backs. Cam Newton is off the board. We don't even know if he's the starter yet. Baltimore Ravens off the board. That's the next defense. I don't think the Bills will make it to my pick. So let's keep some options in mind here. I'm not picking the Patriots one. They lost half their defense to COVID. Justin Tucker's still out there, but again, I'm not too worried about kickers. To be honest, I'm not incredibly worried about that at this point. Alright, who just went off the board? There, Sony Michel went off the board. There. And I think they're just as shocked as I am that a kicker went off the board. Another thing I should mention, I've only been in a few leagues with 12 people, so this should be interesting. Whenever there's 12 people in leagues, Justin Tucker went off the board. Will my defense make it? Will my defensive pick make it? I got 3 picks to survive. Jimmy G is off. Mike is up. Will he go defense? I could see that happening. Marlon Mack, not a bad option.
Your team is now on the clock.
And guess what? I get the defense. All the Bills fans are gonna be heated with me. Now the best part is I can be bold the rest of this draft. Just about. Who just went off the boards there? Dobbins and Hooper go off the board, so a valuable tight end that I could have used. But again, I could pretty much go receiver and tight end the rest of the way. The only thing I need left is a kicker. So, I am good. Will Lutz is off the board. Brown is off the board. Again, I've restrained myself on receivers, so should be fine. He's a top target for me, because Tyrod's not good at throwing on the inside, and Mike Williams is an outside receiver, so I could get lucky and take a real steal here. That's, of course, if I play my cards right. Again, I think I'll need more receivers in this league than I will in the other ones. Hurst is off the board. So the only tight end on my radar that's left is Mike Gesicki. Of course, Hawkinson could have another he could have an improvement year for him. And Doyle might not be a bad option either. So, oh, yep, Gesicki's gone. I don't know about Ebron. Olson's in Seattle. Graham's in Chicago. O.J. Howard's on the trade block, so he's not going to be playing ultimately very well. Brate's still tight end there. Problem is, the further you go down the list, it really doesn't look promising. Noah Fant's the next one. Golden Tate's off the board. And I could get lucky and get Rager. Because again, now I can play and go receiver and tight end. Because a lot of these guys not focused on kicker. Oh! Couldn't make it one more pick. Now this makes my pick complicated. I'm going to go with Noah Fant. Maybe. Let's see what we got running back wise. Again, I really don't need another running back, so really I'm limiting my options to these two, and I guess I'll go with Fant. So that'll eliminate the need for a tight end for me. See, the Saints defense is gone. I don't know. Vikings are gone. I don't think the Chargers will make it another round. Could Judy make it another round? Because if Judy can make it to the 12th, I think he might be my pick. If not, it will be Henry Ruggs most likely. Because obviously we know Derek Carr is going to be starting. He's going to be the new top guy for them. Maybe I should go with him, because look at what Amari Cooper did with Derek Carr. When he has a receiver, he can be deadly. Again, the good news is I got time to think about it. I think Ayuk was their first rounder. Ayuk was their first rounder. And you see Latavius Murray off the board. All these suckers that are fighting for running backs, and I've got my 3. Well, actually, I am going to need one more, so I shouldn't even be calling them suckers, because guess what? I'm in a need for one. Let's read up on Antonio Gibson for the football team. Joe Burrow went out. Even Kelly could be a good pick for us if we're willing to wait. Because he is going to... We heard the GM for the Chargers say he's planning a committee-style approach this year. Tannehill and Burrow went off there, so good news for me is that Judy is still on the board, and so is Ruggs. So again, I might feel comfortable with one more running back. I should have looked at the bye weeks when I picked Breida, and that was not a smart decision on my part. See Williams off the board. And now the question remains, will Judy make it to my pick? Or will it be Henry Ruggs? Or could neither make it to my pick, and then we end up in another tricky situation? Oh, Judy just went off the board. To Jason. You could tell he was thinking exactly what I was thinking. So maybe Ruggs and Williams back to back. Because let's look at it. We have a wide receiver by week 10, week 8, week 9. So it would work out perfectly minus Williams. Even Ayuk would be somewhat of a... It would be a thought. But let's look at Alshon Jeffrey and see. Hardman off the board. And here's where the receivers are going. Again. Keep in mind it was Marty or Derek a few rounds ago that stole CeeDee Lamb from under me. Or was it Mike? It was one of those guys that stole Lamb out from under me. Dallas Goedert. Dino can have him. You know what? I thought about it, but again... Oh, man. He knew what I was going to go for, too. Matt Prater's off the board. We're going to go with Ruggs. I'm going to take a chance on Ruggs. Now let me check in on Deshaun Jackson. Darius Slay, and he's the best corner in the league, so maybe a reach here. Again, I'm keeping Kelly on my list because I'm expecting the Chargers to run a little bit more. Seeing the current climate of the quarterback situation. I still like McManus. That's the good thing. Even these guys. maybe A as well, but the problem is I don't like that extra point missing. But again, I think we're still a few rounds away from our kicking pick. What about Pittman? What's his status right now? He was a second rounder, so I would put him on that list, as he's likely going to be the second receiver behind TY. And let's take a look at the big board once again. Who's everybody picked? Danny Dimes went off the board. Vaughn went off the board. Jefferson, then Miller. So again, you can see based on this round, the trend has gone back to wide receiver. I'll be honest, I think this draft has gone a little bit better for myself this time. I mean, Watson's a good quarterback to have. We got Dalvin Cook early, and if he's healthy, he's always a top-tier running back. Mostert was great last year. We know exactly over the course of his career what Julio Jones is capable of. Same with Will Fuller. Taj Boyd enters as the top receiver, along with AJ Green there. And those two will be big for quarterback Joe Burrow there. And then, of course, we know what Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz do together. The Bills' defense always has been stellar. Matt Breida's a good PPR option. Then, of course, we look at our bench. Henry Ruggs likely to be the top receiver in Las Vegas. Noah Fant, he's a good tight end. Drew Brees, a backup quarterback. So we got two top-tier quarterbacks on our bench. We've got a great situation there, and at the same time, a bad one. So I'd say we're pretty loaded. I like it so far. While people like Marty are going for every starting position first, we're taking it to a new level by getting depth. Again, I think we're going to need at least two more receivers, so then we might flip it back to running back, and I might even put Fitzgerald on this list, because I'm expecting he's going to be the number 2. Coleman went off the board. So is Baker in this round. Just wanted to be sure that none of our options went off the board here. I might be more inclined to pick Zeke's. I know Deshaun Jackson is dangerous when he's healthy. So I'm leaning in that direction. I'm not going to lie. But I know if I take him, some of these guys that are available right now won't be. Maybe I can land Larry Fitzgerald, but again, he's going to be, as we just read, he might be a third option. As we look on down the list, the further you go, it really doesn't look all too promising. But I mean, I think Thing is, I think Jackson could be a big, big steal, and I know if I wait, he's not gonna. Thing is, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Again, and I always think that way. But hey, sometimes I'm right. Now I just missed the last few picks here. Who did people take? Coleman and Wims. Or Mims. I never heard of him, but okay. Someone knows something I don't, apparently. Hawkinson off the board. Let me just take a look at his injury. What's his injury? June foot surgery. Return duties. I like this. We're gonna make a bold pick. And then just hope and pray that Jackson falls in our lap here. Teddy Bridgewater off the boards again. We played defensive earlier and got Drew Brees, so it kind of leaves everybody else with no other option at quarterback. So that's one thing I like about what we did, because now we make everybody else fight for those guys. Nobody's really taken any kickers of late. We're not picking a quarterback. For us, the rest of the way, it's going to be at least one more wide receiver, one more running back, maybe a defense, and then it's going to be a kicker, for sure. Again, I'm not worried about AX injury necessarily, because the thing is, I think Ruggs, because we got Ruggs, Fuller, Jones, and Boyd there. To be honest, he's more going to be a fifth wing, essentially. Closing in on 2 hours of this draft. Can you believe it? Well, it's been an hour since we started, but we're closing in 2 hours since we started broadcasting. Fine, they can fight for tight ends. Again, we're done with that position. Curtis Samuel off the board. Just hoping that Jackson makes it to my pick so I can shout steal in the chat. Looks like 2 people want to auto draft. Again, I like auto draft. The thing is, it addresses the needs of the starters before it addresses the other needs, and it'll always pick the best available. So that's the one thing I hate about auto draft. And let's see who. Oh yeah, Jason got Samuel there. Harry off the board. That's a bold pick. He really wasn't that good last year. But a new quarterback, new situation for him. It's possible he could be good. But again, I think our strategy's played out pretty well for us. The only thing I'm worried about is if Deshaun Jackson gets picked. Because if he gets picked, we got a problem. Because then a lot of our good receivers are off the board. Ebron off the board. It's a good pick. We'll see what he can do. Harris is off the board. Does our running back still stand a chance? It's possible. Again, we need one more running back after this. Pollard goes off. He won't. I don't think he'll see much action. But I think someone will be spiteful. I'm telling you, I think someone will be spiteful here. And try and take our running back option. Madison off the board. I'm not going to get them all. That's the big thing. Drew Lock off the board. Now, thing is, Marty could do that. No, he won't. Okay, so we are done with wide receivers. We are now focused on our defense again. And we're focused on our running back. But here's the thing, if someone takes Kelly, this throws a wrench in everything. Because looking on down the list, there's not many good running backs left. But then again, could we have a steal option? Week 13, it doesn't impact any bye weeks for me. Who just drafted what? Oh. One of our defensive options off the board. And I don't feel so confident that Kelly's going to fall to us. If he doesn't, we're going defense. It's that simple. So we got a plan. Campbell off the board. Oh shoot, who just went? The Chiefs defense just went. We can take him off our big board. We're done going receiver at this point.
Your team
Oh, the defensive option just went out the door. But on the bright side, we get our running back. So now we have to go defense and we have to go kicker. That's our options now. And Aaron Donald is still a danger on defense. It's fine. That kicker can go. Kicker is the only position I've yet to address, but again, there's, it's not a position that needs to be addressed right away. That's just my feeling on it. So I think I can wait one more round because there's still a lot of good options left. Problem is I don't want the Money Badger. I like him, but man, like, the problem with the Money Badger, he's not good from 50 yards or further, and kind of like that quality in a kicker. Kirk Cousins. And Jason's gonna auto draft Gibson. Again, I'm slightly nervous about kickers, but again, I think we can still get someone decent. Titans D. I just love how this is going so far for us. Like I said, I think it's underrated, to be honest. Our pick here. And Bass is off the board. I knew someone would take a Bills kicker. A lot of Bills fans in here. So that does not shock me. Bears D off the board. It's not a bad one. They still got Mac on the defensive side. Fairbairn gone. Olsen gone. Let's go for it. So our bench is full. The only thing left to get is a kicker. And I feel fairly confident in whatever kicker we are able to draft here. Why does it only say 11 picks? Gay's off the board. He's the one I was looking at. And now here go the kickers. So maybe it wasn't smart. But I got, like I said, I got thoughts here. And again, the kicker position isn't ultra important, so Young Ho Koo. Oh, Badgley. They knew what I was thinking. But again, Joey Sly, man. I mean, when he was on his hot streak, he was money, so. Randall Cobb at this point. Again, you know, not much you can get wide receiver wise, which is why we blitzed on receivers in the middle of this draft. That's why we went for Ruggs, Ayuk, and Jackson. Because we knew what was coming. We knew it was going to be a slaughtering coming. Basically, it was just a now or never moment. We had to get we had to stock up on receivers right away, or we were going to be in trouble. Can't believe you're taking this long to pick in the last round. Like, you should know who you're going to get right away at this point. Jarwin goes off the board. Pittman goes off the board. And you know what? I know I said McManus or Sly. I think I'm going to go with Dan Bailey. I mean, other than the 4 extra points missed, in the past with the Cowboys, he's been pretty consistent on field goals. I think he could return to form this year, so why not? Let's go with Bailey as our kicker, and that will finish up our team. Mason Crosby is off the board. He's not one I trust. I'll be honest. I don't trust Mason Crosby. So let me open up Fantasy real quick. And while we're looking at the rest of this draft, is take a look at the rest of the board. Damian Williams went off. He's not going to be playing this year. You see Myers goes off the board. Andrews up. And see, we still got a delay on that. So I want to real quickly show you the draft grades I got. I'm not worried about that yet. We still got weeks to go in the season. So as you see, NFL.com gave us a B with the 5-8 record, a 7th place finish. And to be honest, I don't necessarily agree with this. I definitely did better than that. You see the Colts defense went off there. Perriman went off to Jason. And who will be the last pick?
Thanks for attending.
It's Gardner Minshew. So that is the end of the draft. Now let's see if we have an update on this league. What did our draft grade get? B minus? Seriously? That's better than last season. It projected me 0-13 last season in this league. And I managed to get, I think, 7-6 or 6-7, and I made the playoffs and made a good run. So, Whatever. This thing can crap on me all day. But anyway, finally, let's close out of that. We don't care what's saved and what's not. Let's take a look at our team. Here is the team for our final fantasy draft that we have done this season. So Deshaun Watson at quarterback, Raheem Mostert, Dalvin Cook, Julio Jones, Will Fuller, Tyler Boyd are our receivers. I'm going to swap this out for Henry Ruggs. So then we got Zach Ertz, Henry Ruggs, Drew Brees, Joshua Kelly, Brandon Ayuk, Deshaun Jackson, Matt Breida, Noah Fant. And then kicker-wise, we have Dan Bailey. And defense, we have the Bills and the Rams. So that is how we stacked up. We play threat level midnight game 1. Oh, forgot to save. Changes, we'll do that. And then we'll take a look at the matchup real quick. It projects that I win this match. But again, a lot can change. He has Clyde Edwards-Helaire. His receivers, pretty decent. Robinson. Of course, it'll be interesting to see who starts for the Bears. But yeah, I think overall we had a really good draft. I think it went a lot better than I expected it to. Obviously, Boyd's going to be an iffy pick. We don't know what Burrow's going to do. He hasn't had any preseason games to really show himself. So, we'll see. Mostert was a decent pick. I don't mind that one. I think Julio Jones is our strongest pick, obviously. Zach Ertz is a strong pick, as always. Watson, he can get it done with his arm and his feet, so that's always good. Ruggs is an Alabama wide receiver. We know what Alabama wide receivers can do in this league. And we will see what happens when we get going this season. I'll provide some updates on my fantasy teams on here, so I hope that you guys will tune in. And in the meantime, please be sure to like and dislike if you don't like the team. Hey, honesty hurts, right? So be sure to like or dislike, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook. Of course, check out our website as well. And be sure to subscribe to GCN if you haven't already. And I want to thank you all for watching this 2-hour video. Wow, I can't believe we were on 2 hours. But anyway, we will be back soon, hopefully with some more content on SCN. Otherwise, subscribe to GCN. That's where all of our content is right now. That's mainly what I'm working on. And until then, goodbye everyone.